Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in once again. I appreciate it, man. Hey, I see you. I know I haven't been around for a little while, but hey, thanks for coming through. I like that, man. You said you was coming through, and you did. I appreciate that. Listen, I hope I keep doing the same things for you guys. I hope I keep inspiring you guys, keep motivating you guys, giving you change of mindset. This is what I do. Today, we're going to talk about Invictus. Invictus is that William E. Henley's poem. It's a very good poem. I like it. You know, a poem like that gives you a lot of inspiration. And I'm not sure if William Henley is a philosopher, or if he's back in 1888 or 1875 when he wrote that poem, I'm not sure if they were into philosophy at that time. Or the poem was published in 1888. Poems, and the poem that he wrote was talking about times of strife, times of hardship, times where you thought nothing is working for you, when you would just want to do anything else but to be alive. And we all go through those times, man. We all go through those times where there's like nothing going right for you. You just don't know how to handle it. You just feel like giving up. You know, you never thought that you could make it. You start doubting yourself. You start criticizing yourself. The worst thing you could do is criticize yourself, man. That's the worst thing you can do, is criticize yourself. You need to always put some sort of positive mindset within yourself to know exactly what you want to do. See, William Henley, he talks about that in the poem Invictus. The word Invictus itself just simply means, unstoppable, unconquerable. You can't be held back. Nothing should be able to stop you if it is what you want. If it is what you want, nothing should be able to stop you from getting it. It's just that simple. You know, when I was a young guy coming up, I always knew what I wanted to do. I would go straight ahead and do it. But there was a time in my life where I was just whimsically going through life, not thinking about it. That kind of like unconscious frame of mind. You just going through life, and whatever happens, happens. And we all go through that because you in a time and a space where you're just unsure. It wasn't until I reached a certain age in my life that I knew that I was supposed to be, and I was supposed to pass on a legacy. I was about 24, 25 years old. And at that time, I said to myself, hey, every single move that I make is going to be a move towards my legacy. Every single move that I make is going to be a move towards mastering my fate, being a captain of my soul, jumping into the driver's seat and driving. See, that's what William Henley's talking about in this poem Invictus. He's talking about being in a dark place. You know, that night that covers me. That's being in a dark place. The pit of blackness from pole to pole. Whatever God's out there protects my unconquerable soul. You see, he talks about being in that spot of being beat upon, head bludgeoned, and nothing can stop him. He talks about the scrolls of life. Even if the scrolls of life tells you that this is what you're supposed to be, this is where you're supposed to go, this is who your family is. You've come from a legacy of corruption. You've come from a legacy of people not doing the right things. You come from a legacy of poverty. You come from a legacy of demons. That should not stop you. That should not stop you. Becoming the master of your fate simply means to understand and realize what you're going to do. Master that. Pinpoint on it. Do not stop until you achieve it. There's no stopping here. It's a continuous motion. It's not a movement. It's a revolution. Movement stop and go. Movement stop and go. Your mindset needs to be revolutionary, a continuous motion. You understand where I'm coming from? That's what William Henley is talking about in this poem. William Henley's also talking about places that you may go, people that you may come across that may talk bad about you, that may say things wrong about you, who doesn't understand where you're coming from. That doesn't matter. If you're out here in the world right now and you're worrying about who's talking about what or what people think about you, how is it that you're going to master your fate? You can't master your fate if you're worrying about what other person's talking about you, what people are saying about you. You need to start learning how to practice that art of selfishness. There's an art to being selfish, not being rude, not being crude, not being unlikable. It's not being me all the time. But the art to selfishness is taking care of one's self primarily in order for you to give the best of yourself to everyone else. You can't love anybody if you don't love yourself ultimately to the fullest extent. You can't give to anyone if you don't give to yourself first. Allow your cup to overflow with. Allow your cup to overflow. Therefore, you can bless others. The more you bless others, the more blessings will come back to you. See, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. Everybody wants to be a millionaire, but no one wants to make the sacrifices. Everyone has dreams, but dreams mean nothing unless they're executed. See, we all have that energy going through us. We all have that potential energy, and we all have that kinetic energy. That kinetic energy is the one that's moving around all the time. It's emotion. We need to learn how to gather that energy up and move it in a positive direction for great things. That potential energy that we have is that energy that's sitting down, not doing anything. You're sitting down in the dark. You're sitting down in the slums. You're sitting down pitying yourself. Self-pity is the worst thing. You can't pity yourself. Do you think anybody cares? In order for you to get to where you want to go, you have to be the captain of your soul. You need to direct your soul, which is going to direct your mind, which is going to direct the body. Get in the driver's seat. Become the conductor of your actions. Take full responsibility for your actions. Plan it out. Say what you're going to do aloud. He says that as well. Thanks whatever God is out there for his unconquerable soul. William H. Henley, very great poem, Invictus. I was listening to something that Denzel Washington was talking about. Just came across something, and I like Denzel Washington, man. He's a phenomenal actor. He's played in a lot of movies, and I know all of you know Denzel Washington. He's one of my favorite actors, and I was listening to something that he was saying, and he was saying he always kept it 100% honest with himself. He never took a script that would deter him from his spiritual alignment, because he always knew that that would be conflicting when he entered the stage or entered the film or when he was in the area of acting out the scene. It wouldn't be him. It wouldn't be true. So he would say no to a lot of scripts that he was offered, good money scripts. And the reason why he waited is because he knew that his best performances would come when the best script came, a script that was in alignment with his fate, and a script that was in alignment with his soul, because he was directing his fate and his soul. See, that's how life is as well. See, when I saw that, I said, wow, that's very interesting. Because in reality, there are some actors and actresses that take scripts that do not align with them. And those scripts that don't align with them make them look like a bad actor or actress. It didn't fit with them. And people will see that. And some actors and actresses took a heavy hit because of those scripts. So now, with that being said, was there ever a point in time where you knew that you wasn't supposed to take that part? Because you're living on a stage right now. The world that we're living on right now is a stage. It's an open book. You're building your life. You're telling a story. Right now, to this day, the moves you make from the time you was little to up now when you have consciousness, you're making a story. Was there any point in time in your life where you had a part in a play that didn't go with you and the play didn't end up well? The play started off horribly. The middle of the act was even worse, and the ending was horrible. This is what I'm talking about. You see, success and wealth and happiness is always there. It should be always there. But it's a process. You can't rush anything. You can't rush life. When you came out your mother's womb, you didn't come out jumping rope. You didn't even come out crawling. You couldn't do anything. You can't rush life. Just because you're taking your time in the process doesn't mean you're not being productive. I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. To be a captain of your soul means that you cannot criticize yourself. You have to know who you are. To be a master of your fate, you can't put yourself down. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing around you. Practice the art of selfishness and see what you're doing. And what you're doing should be what your main focus is. This is the idea of this poem, Invictus. See, I like this poem because this poem reminds me of when I was growing up. And the first time I came across this poem, I was about 24, 25 years old. Maybe even a little older. I was 27 years old. That's when I was coming through a big transition in my life, and I was becoming focused. I was actually really becoming more pinpointing and knowing that I wanted to open up my own businesses. I wanted to be free to do what I wanted to do. I wanted my children to have their own businesses. Although I went to college and I got a degree and so on and so forth, I always knew that I wanted to have my own business, and I've been opening up businesses from here and there. I remember the first business I had was a candy route. I had a little small vending machine route and stuff like that. And it did pretty well. I sold the route off, and I did pretty well with it. He was a poet. You know, he I remember at 27 was the time where my cousin and I, shout out to Sam Black, man. We used to call him the Messiah because he always told the truth. Sometimes he just told the truth to no end, and he was raw with it. You know, you have to recognize that authentic wisdom with Sam. He was just a brilliant guy. But we used to be movie buffs, sort of like. We used to watch movies and stuff like that, and Invictus was one of the movies that came on, and the poem was in that, and we replayed the poem over and over and over again, and the poem was deep, and the poem made me realize that I can do whatever it is I wanted to do. And that was at the time I stopped caring about what people thought. If I wanted to move this way, I would move that way. Whatever goal I set in my mind is the goal that I would accomplish. I became that guy. I lost a lot of friends, so to speak. Not that I lost friends like they didn't say hi to me anymore. I just separated myself from certain people because the change came so rapidly. I didn't, and it's going to come like that. When a change comes, the change comes rapidly. You know, it's a process, but when it comes rapidly. And when you begin to get influenced, and when you begin to gain that wealth, it's an avalanche because it's a floodgates. Now you learn and you understand the knowledge of self, and you've understanding how to command your fate, your destiny. Once that happens, the floodgates are open. There's no telling what you can do. You can do anything at this point in time. Anything that you say in your mind, you can do. The Bible says, so as a man thinketh. Right? So be careful what you think about, because that's the other side of the whole story too. Be very, very careful what you think about. Be very, very careful of the thoughts that you put in your mind. Be aware of those thoughts. Because we have a lot of signals going back and forth in our brain, a tremendous amount of signals all the time. And we're always thinking about certain things. And there's times where I want to change the thought. I have to get up and walk around and change my thought. There's times to this day right now that I get caught up in the thought and I can't change it. I have to get up and run around or go to the gym or do push-ups or do something else to change that thought, because I do not want that thought in my sphere. I don't want that thought in my mind, because I know the power of my brain. If my brain or my mind begins to think that thought, is going to come true. So, I think good thoughts. I keep it in peace. Keep it in harmony. I don't have any more fear. Once you begin, there's so many times, coming up in life, there's so many things that I couldn't do or didn't do because of fear. Because of my false education appearing real. Because of that. But you know what? It's no regrets. I don't have regrets, man. I have experiences that got me here. And so you should begin to think that way as well. Once you begin to regret something in your mind, then your life becomes a regret. Your life becomes regret. There's no regret here. It's experiences that builds character, that builds integrity. That's your foundation. And don't be afraid to lose, man. Don't be afraid to fail. People don't take that chance because they're afraid of failing. I was speaking to this young guy. This young guy said to me, hey, a young entrepreneur guy. He's very successful, very well. And I said, what's your plan B? He told me, I don't have a plan B because plan A's got to work. I said, you have nothing to fall back on? He's not falling back. If he's going to fall, he's going to fall forward. Why would you want to fall back? He falls forward. He didn't have a plan B because he was for sure and for certain that his plan A had to work, needed to work, and was going to work. The master of his fate. Captain of his soul. Hey, listen, guys, it's been great, man. I hope that these references and these talks do good for you as it does for me. This is how I manifest my absolute trust and harmony within the universe. Passing it forward, each one teach one. It wouldn't be fair for me to not say something if I knew something, and that's the code of life. That's the code that I live by. So again, man, I appreciate you guys coming through. I really do appreciate you guys listening, and comment at the bottom, man. Let me know how this is working out for you. Let me know if this platform that I got is helping you out. And it's a great thing, man. It's a great thing. Have a good one, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Be good.